Hi all, and welcome to the video. In this one, it's the new server, day 17. Well, as you can see, I'm stood in Bliss, of all places. Yes, surprise, surprise. I'm on my MA, I'm slowly chipping away at him here. Most of Storm are already level 75. I'm kind of being a slowpoke. It's been kind of Easter and stuff here, so kids off school, etc, etc. So yeah, now the mission is level 79, so the mob should be fairly easy to handle and give a reasonable amount of XP per kill. I did try and do most of the Biomare A-Star quest the last day or so, but people keep bugging out the NPC in the hangar because reasons. I don't know. I think a lot of people have never done that quest that are now on the server, and yeah, they keep screwing her up. So it's kind of wound up that yeah, she's completely broken. You can't do anything with her, kind of thing. One guy actually came in and ganked a teammate who managed to get flagged trying to get the same GS. Yes, that is unbelievably still a thing on this server. Yes, it is. It's always been a thing though. Your teammate enter and you get a different GS. It's like, yeah, it's just one of those things. So yeah, and of course there's a load of omni-sided guards outside. Which one's that? Firefly. Do I want Firefly? Probably. I want them to never have cancelled that show. I loved Firefly. The daftest idea for a TV show ever, and yet it's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I was so gutted when they cancelled it, but hey. Anyway, I digress. Yes, Firefly was amazing, but I don't think it can ever be brought back. I mean, they did make the movie, which I enjoyed, but it kind of finished the story. So how do they bring it back now, you know? Anyway, what do we got? Yeah, so we're just literally grinding missions, and that's why I haven't been making a lot by way of videos and stuff, because isn't it all a bit sameish, you know? I mean, it feels very sameish for me. I'm in the same missions I have been pretty much all along, only yeah, there's no difference. I'm just running around brown missions. Where's the difference, kind of thing. I mean, I'd like to report there's something new, but no, there's not. There's still no real word on what's happening with the expansions, and I don't expect we'll hear a damned thing until after Easter is over. I know, is it Funcom HQ or whatever is based in Norway, or half the Anarchy Online, or the team that deal with Anarchy Online, I think, with its actual ongoing maintenance, are based in Norway. And in Norway, if you didn't know, Easter for Nords is a bit like Christmas, really. Everything shuts down, people have time off work, it's family time, kind of a thing, and yeah, don't expect anyone to be working over the weekend, kind of deal. So yeah, I've just slowly been slightly upgrading little bits. I've got some other bits I'm going to throw in. That's going in later. Just kind of working on the character. I did try and solo the hangar, and it all seemed pretty easy except for the Blaster Beetle, and then I remembered Blaster Beetle I think uses Duck XP as a its damage is based on shotgun, which is why a lot of people encounter it thinking, well, the guards can barely hit me. They're based on ranged. But then they go up against the Blaster Beetle, which looks like it's ranged, but yeah, then it completely marmalizes them. And it's not like, even if you could calm it, it wouldn't matter. for the quest because the NPC, the Omnitech operative, you have to walk her around the hangar and she aggroes everything. It's very similar, although I'd say it's like doing a Lapper, except that a Lapper came after Biomare. So really, a Lapper is like that portion of Biomare where you've got to protect a dopey NPC that aggroes everything in sight. So it's one of those. And I think apparently I missed a mob at the end. I'm looking at the mini-map. It's difficult. It's pretty warm here in the UK this weekend, which is kind of nice, but yeah, it's a bit of a shock. I mean, last week everyone was in heavy coats, complaining about the rain and the wind, etc. And now we are suddenly like nearly 20 degrees in the shade all of a sudden. And Brits are terrible at handling warm weather. We truly are. We're just not used to it. We're so used to living in a narrow temperature range that when the temperature changes, we just can't handle it. We don't adjust very well. No, we don't. It's not the degrees centigrade, it's what you're used to that makes the difference. Yes, it is. Oh, XP ball. What level is he? 81. Dun dun dun. Yeah, see, the blaster beetle in the hangar, when I had a heal pet on me, he seemed incredibly easy. But yeah, you had somebody that had just discovered PvP in the game and has a decent weapon, so they couldn't control themselves. You know the type. Yeah. So yeah, they came along, killed the MP, and of course, I'd gotten flagged because the MP was flagged. So then they had to pop at me, and then I had the blaster beetle and half the hangar. So I didn't have much of a choice, and I thought I can't be bothered. But what was funny was they then sent a tell back to the MP saying now the NPC that they need won't talk to me, and they said, well, you'll probably have to get a different GS, which normally that will work unless you've screwed the ident on your character, and then you've got to delete the mission and start over, maybe, or wait 10 hours and then it will work. So we went back trying to get a completely different GS to guys like that. I'm assuming it was a guy. It seemed like a little kid, really. That kind of, I'm having fun, oh, it's all gone wrong. That kind of, yeah. I've gone from one big room to another one. Yeah, so we tried to get a different GS for about 45 minutes. No dice, not getting it, so in the end I just abandoned it. I think the thing's gone. So I thought I'll just level up to 75 instead, and then I should be able to solo the rest of it, I think, on the MA. If I get some decent implants and stuff. I was thinking of maybe making some, like an add-all deaf left arm or something like that. Not sure. Maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. I'm thinking probably. Oh, wolf, that's a good one. Yes, it is. Wolf is a load of inits, which is very nice. Make you very fast, as it says there. Must find mob quickly. You'll do. So even on full lag, suddenly we're a lot more effective. Yes, we are. So MA skill-wise on this guy, he's only up to a little over 500. That will get better. I've got I grabbed that at quality 100. But I'm in no great hurry now. We've got the template, for how levels are likely to be rolled out, but no word yet on the expansions. And like I said, a lot of classes are broken without the expansions. MPs are fine. Because their fixes really started coming with 18.7. I mean, okay, they can't buff their pets very well because they're all Shadowlands crystals. But, you know, for the most part, they're okay, like pets that scale as they cast them. That was a fix they got, whereas, like, soldiers, fixers, and everything else, kind of, they didn't get their fixes until they got reasonable weapons from Shadowlands and AI. Some people are really resistant to that, the Luddites. You know, they're not keen on a progression server actually having progression on it, which is, you know, that's fine. Some people want a nostalgia-only server, you know, where they can, I don't know, play one of the few classes that works. But that's really going to suck when they're trying to do endgame stuff. Okay, let's do the mercs. We can't. Right, well, no one's playing Enforcer. Why not? Because they're broken. And they're broken on this server. We don't have, you know. I know Froobs do it, so it can be done. It's just really, really quite hard with all the stuff that doesn't work. Whereas it could be a lot more sort of plausible. But I'm bored. I like the content in Shadowlands, and most people bypass it anyway. People that complain about Shadowlands, a lot of them have never done the content there. They just assume it's somewhere people go to level. And, you know, they're not wrong in that. You know, to a large part, people do. People do go off and level there and do nothing else. But if you've ever watched any of my Let's Builds, then you know that that's not how I play. You know, even on a Let's Build. Or even when I'm playing solo, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm going to do all these quests because I want that ring and this thing and the other thing, you know. And I even do the both Sheol quests for the better nano that we get there, you know. But at 100, I'm thinking Corporal Ashley Winstead's going to be the next thing, but you can't complete that quest until level 120. He gives you like half of it. You don't get the rest of it until after then. So, yeah, kind of a bummer. You don't get a lot of XP for that. It's more about getting the nano reward later more than anything else, so, yeah. But, yeah, it is what it is. Oh, my buff ran out. I do feel suddenly slow again, even though technically I'm not slow. It's just, yeah. You is dead. And I probably should have made a little more space in my inventory, whichever one you prefer. I should have maybe made a little more space and just looted every damn thing I find. You've also, with this mission, I've got this extra item. I'm doing this one where you poison their food supply or something. Kind of cool. I seem to remember a thread started on the original forums by a guy called The Deacon, and which was really, really funny, because the Deacon's writing always really, really was funny. Yeah, there's the machine. And it was like the best XP missions generally to do with the food snack ones. Those damn mutants. Or whatever. I think this one's slightly different. Oh yeah, and look at the amazing reward from this mission. Good God. Yeah. We're going to be running around in that. It was kind of fun when this server started, you know, the backyard thing being level 10, etc. Map nav. God. Why is that still on the loot table? There is no map nav since 2015. You know, we had the 18.7 and map nav disappeared. It was no longer any kind of requirement for anything. Nothing required it. You had, but it used to be your map never showed you doors or anything until you went and bought those upgrades, and you had to have the map nav to do them. And when you did an IPR, you had to do them all over again, which sucked. Yes, it did. I can remember actually doing that. putting your tomb back together and not having all your map upgrades. You couldn't see, you couldn't distinguish side, and oh god, it was just a mess. I don't know why it was always a thing in the game, but we just accepted it at the time, you know. And that would sell quite well, but I don't. Have I got any space in any of these now? Yeah, I'm looking at these nanos that I can't cast yet. What did I need there? BM Saint Simp. I don't think I'm too far off on that one. Why not? Screw it. Okay, now. Yay! Got a bigger nano. Okay, I can cast it fairly quick. But that means I can take that, stick it in there, pick that up. I think that's the first decent saleable thing we've had so far. Where are we at on percentage with this mission? 100%. I think there is another mob there, which I'm going to kill just for the XP, if I can open the door. Yeah, there we go. The rest of the IP. Tempted to max that out, you know, but really? I could do that, or it's not a lot more, is it? Body and a fence. Yeah, I'm gonna max that out, and then probably all the other evades. I like being evasive on MA. It's kind of cool. Right, okay, so food snack time, and we'll get 2 more inventory slots. Suppose I have to claim the weapon. Look at that, quality 79. Look at those ACs, 37. God. Oh my god, yeah. Right, well, what did we get there? So we got 8k for completing the mission. We're at 161 on tokens. I've got so many more tokens to farm. It is unbelievable. Yes, it is. That's something I don't miss either. You see, on my account, my paid account, I've got so many vet points. I can do a 1k token board from the vet shop, just buying the token packages without even batting an eyelid, to be perfectly honest. Now, someone was saying that on the forums, like, that was a kind of unfair advantage, and I was like, dude, do you know how long I have played this game? I suppose in a sense it's it's like pay to win in one sense, in that I've paid out so much money, I have an advantage, because that's kind of how it worked. But they were loyalty points, really. You know, if you think about it, someone that's paid for the game for 17 years, was that any good? Tutoring, it could be useful, that, actually, but it's going in the vendor. Yeah, it is. I can't see a 6 slot anytime soon, being perfectly honest. Okay, and 15k from the loot, and as you saw, I didn't even pick up most of it. Where should we roll from this time? Let's go to Avalon, see what we get there. Yeah, it's a Sunday today. My plan is I'll do a little playing, get to, I don't know, maybe level 70. Call it a day. I could go power leveling, get a team, but I don't know. And you know, sometimes you sort of think about it and you think, oh, I'm not sure I fancy that. You know. Yeah, you see, you never see this many MPs on the live server. You want to know why? Because they're okay, but they're not that great. But here, you know, ooh, what have I got here? Instantaneous encoding. Probably sell that to a player for 40, 50k. It costs 100k to buy it from a shop, so there's every chance that we would get that. I'm tempted. I'm not getting hurt enough in these missions to warrant using that nano yet. I will on the next one. I need to actually move it like so. Why does it do that? Yeah, this was the vehicle I got on this character. I have never ever chosen the blood red version of this. What's it actually called? It's something weird. Face font something red and face font ghost green. But that's vehicle ground. I think that's the surfboard thing. I think. Do you know what? I've not even checked. Can I cast that? What does it require? Gives you run speed 150. No, you know, I can't be bothered. Okay, where's my... Is it inside or is it outside? It's not a cave. Oh, I don't want a cave mission. Is that it? And more brown missions. What colour should we make the missions? Let's make them brown. These things are just freaky. Freaky beyond belief. Onangi Lurker. Right, heal. That's quite a reasonable heal, actually. That's what I'm missing, I think. That and Zazen form. Take forever to kill something, but out-heal any damage it's got for you. Does work. You know, it's a valid tactic. I mean, that's Doc. Basically. Yes, it is. Advies went from being the second best healers in the game to... Well, I don't know where they rank now. Oh, look, a buffing weapon. Strength for 12 on a rifle. Oh, that's quite useful for a few people. What's this? Trash. And also trash. I can remember before the Shadowlands fixes were implemented, you ended up where every range class basically ran round with crit buffs, scopes and shotguns. Even adventurers, even agents. It just got ridiculous. And then, of course, most of the crit shotguns have terrible min damage, so when we got to Shadowlands, everyone abandoned them for weapons that had decent minimum damage. Much tighter things, but yeah, there you go. But if you think back, well, you don't have to think back, we're here. If you look at the weapon choices that... ooh, Medusa. Have you got anything nice in your loot table for me? Oh, she's not singing to me. Ooh, taking some damage here. Yes, we are. Can I use that again? Just about. Yeah, this sort of speed is okay. No. I think that actually sells quite well. But you can see that one chest had a bunch of saleable loot in it that I kind of wanted. Oh, that was my login reward today, which I will probably never use on this guy, I don't think. Not until the distant future. If I even get him to that kind of level range. Boxes with pink spots, I don't think they're really worth an inventory slot. No, they're not. What could I put in there? I'm not using that, so that could go in there. Oh god, something else I want. This is my own fault. What have I got here? What quality are these? 28s. They can go. And we'll take that as well. This is going to be one of those missions with a lot of loot drops. Look, there we go again. That's another one that's worth keeping. That I got from a mission. So that's... Do I want that? It's a super low one with 5 to Intelli. I don't know. Boots of infinite speed could be handy one day. Newcomers gloves, yeah, I probably want to keep those. What was this? Complet, yeah. You see, I should have come out with empty bags, not bags full of things I'm kind of working with. I'll Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something I haven't done for years, which is leave a mission just to go out and sell the loot I'd looted so far from it. Right, so where were we at? We've come here. Entwined. I always think that should be a W, not a V. Entwined militiamen. And Shem protection. Oh, AC buff, MA1. Will I ever use it? Do you know what? I don't even think I use it on my paid MA. I should use those things. But you can get a much better AC's buff from an engineer on live, so just saying. Oh, this mission is full of items. Yes, it is. I mean, these mobs are known for dropping random stuff. That said, these guys, these weird things with the... I'm not even going to ask what that is on the front of his face. Yeah, those out in the greater world, when you find these, they're usually higher level as well. They tend to drop, like, monster parts. Seasoned Rustler. Yeah, great. The Rustlers are in the UK. You won't know this, but I can kind of remember this from days in retail. Guys in some of the stores I managed used to eat these things. There's a brand of burger called Rustlers, and I doubt you'd have them in any other country. Or you might do. Probably under another name, and they're like the cheapest grade meat you've ever seen, pre-cooked. And these things are like a microwave burger. It's one of the most unhealthy things you've ever seen in your life. It's got that same awful, excuse for bread that McDonald's use. The stuff that's kind of like cake. It just reminds me of cake, not actual bread. When I think of bread, I don't really ever think of anything that it's used as a burger bun in a fast food restaurant. No, I don't. But yeah, rustlers are that. Just saying, seasoned rustler. It's like, okay, so you put some pepper on that one, did you? Well done. Yeah, so this is why the content's been a bit thin on the ground. I mean, I'd like to have done all the quests in Nascence and Eli by now. Or at least in Nascence. Couldn't have done all of the Eli ones without a team. I don't think it would have been... I'm thinking no. Yeah, there you go. 3-minute cooldown on full auto, 40-second cooldown on that one. I mean, you're not going to get much better than 40. But, there's someone that loves to play Soldier when its Soldier works, and they don't want to play Soldier on this server because the weapon options are terrible. And Soldier's supposedly a class that is, like the master of the ranged weapon, whereas anyone who can get pistols on is doing better because they're using pistols that were introduced as a balance against the Perennium weapons, which were introduced as a balance for, Shadowlands and all the other things that particular class needed. It's kind of hard to have, this is why I was surprised they kept the 18.7 on the server. As soon as they said they were keeping that, I thought, well, depending on who's running this, they must be thinking of releasing every expansion, because that's what 18.7 balance is based on. So if you don't have the expansions, then the balance doesn't exist. Any balance that was done by 18.7 is lost if you remove all the expansions. I know Frubes are still a thing on the live server, but You know, just saying. I mean, on the live, Froob's all MP as well. Because MP works. What have we got? Shielding barrier. I don't think I'm going to get anything interesting in here. Like, that one time I got grid armor from a cardboard box. That was cool. We're on 100%. Where the hell was that machine? Was it? Wasn't in this one. I know we've seen it. I just can't remember where it was. Was it down here? This funny little corridor. Then this room. No. It was not. Let's just keep doing left turns. Eventually we will get there. See? Eventually you get to the one you want. Okay. Come on. That's a useful mission reward. You won't get 100k at a vendor for it, but the vendor will sell it to you for that much. Yes, it will. So, yeah. I don't think I can... Is that the one I can cast on? Fixer... Is this the one? I can't remember which is which now. Is this... Yeah, this... I can't cast on my fixer yet. Yeah, he might have grid armor, but he's kind of gimp. So there we go. I'm going to go to Old Athen, sell a bunch of this stuff. But yeah, it just seemed to feel like I'm just grinding missions. And not a lot else at the minute. There's not a lot else to do. Can't really get... There's no... Is there any quests in this level? I mean, I think I can make a start. I could go to the wreck. Maybe is it 75 for the wreck to get anything from them? Any kind of mission? I don't. You know, I'm going to go look now. What are we? Level 67. I don't think he's going to talk to me though. But for science. For science! Yes, we're going to go and check, but I think he's just going to tell me to naff off. If not, then, you know, that's going to be fun, isn't it, boys and girls? Trying to get those missions done. And trying not to crash. Let's see what happens. Ah, we're alive! Okay, for science. You and I have no business. Denied. Yes, indeed. It'd be nice to go and get the scope, but you'd need blood makes noise, you'd need quite a lot of buffs and implants just to get the scope on. And I don't know if it's really worth it, to be honest. I don't think it is. You know, you're going to bump yourself up to what, 20% crit chance? Versus... Yeah. That's the other thing as well. Froobs on the live server can get the Stellar buff. And they shouldn't be able to, really, should they? If you think about it. I mean, how does Stellar gain the buff? Well, from Gauntlet in Pandemonium. Which isn't part of Shadowlands. It's in Shadowlands, but it's not part of it. That's part of LE, I think. Came out with one of them, I forget. It's one of the last expansions, so really... Froob shouldn't have that. But they have, and I don't really care. Anyway, so there we go. That's it. Nothing exciting to report. I don't think anything exciting really is going to start happening. You know, I'd love to have done all the basic quests in Nascents. You know, the Garden Key, Sanctuary Key, all the other little side quests that are out there. They've been great to do all those. Try and get them to work. But... yeah, nothing doing yet, and that basically leaves Biomare, which is just a hot mess at the minute, with everyone training everybody else. Yes, they are. And then with people, unfortunately, becoming flagged outside because they're trying to get the same GS as their team, or get a GS that doesn't have a bunch of loonies in it. You know, so they're in and out at the front door, getting flagged, and people are taking advantage of it. Because that's who, you know, that's just how people are, I guess. There you go. All right, folks. Bye for now.